Hello everyone, this is devlog number 4, I think, and um, you're looking at what is the culmination of this week's work, which was mostly rigging stuff in Blender, dealing with Blender versions, dealing with the drawbacks of open source software and betas thereof. But no shade, like I'm so grateful that Blender is a free option, and not only is it free, like it's the industry standard for a reason, right? It's got so many good features. So first of all, let's look at what I've been doing in Blender. So here we have Marco. So it's all rigged up, and we can click on his rig, compose it, and then you can like hopefully this works. Okay, it doesn't work. Um, I was worried about that, but I think it's just to do with like, you know what, I don't know. But maybe if we click his game rig. So that's, as far as I understand it, like you make a control rig and use that control rig to generate a game rig, and then you export that game rig with the mesh into your game. And the problem that solves, I'm not sure, to be completely honest. Um, but that's just the way I learned how to do it. So I think if I move the game rig, yeah, see stuff moves when I move the game rig. Um, so I don't know, maybe I'll just use the game rig to post stuff from now on. Whoa. And this took a while to wrap my head around, and as you can see, I still haven't wrapped my head around it. The problem I was having, I was using Blender 5.0, which is a beta release, and they had an issue with something called nonlinear animation. Uh, what are these called? Strips not showing up in the in like this panel here. And being a beginner, I just thought, this is just noob. Like I'm just a noob. I don't know how it works. So I spent a day just trying to look up guides that were that I intended to inform my decisions and, get to the bottom of what I was doing wrong. But the problem was with the software. So I basically wasted a day because I opted to use a beta version of the software, which, will have bugs. Um, so it's mostly my fault. I should have been using a stable version. Um, yeah, so this is the rig, and with the rig, now I can basically give the characters animations, right? And not only can I make like my own animations using Blender's animation functionality, but I can also import animations from like online, right? So I think I should be able to find one here. Yeah. Oh, well, it's not here. But, a very popular website is called Mixamo, and I'll show you that. And so what Mixamo does, uh, why aren't I logged in? I think it's a new browser. Anyway, we'll just look at some Google images, hey? Um, yeah, so it's like, this is what the UI looks like, and it's just a bunch of, as far as I can tell, free for commercial use animations. And so they just export it as a file that, Blender can read and Godot can read. And you kind of map the animations to a skeleton, and then you can throw that bone map, they call it, onto like your own rigs. So with this, I can make like very nice looking animations. Um, One thing that I had problems with was exporting it because, like, these animations are used in lots of games, these Mixamo animations, and so it exports at quite a high frame rate. I think it's like at least 30 frames per second. I think the lowest you can go is 24 frames per second by uh, using the website to export stuff. But I really wanted this like retro kind of choppy animation. I think is much more charming. Um, and so I can't really do that in the Godot engine. I need to send these animations into Blender and then change a fallback on how frames are passed. I really don't get it. But I mean, we're at this stage, and like, God forbid that I have to make my own animations because it might it's cooked. Anyway, we've got nice walking animations, and for now, everyone's just walking on the spot, but I think this looks really nice. And I'll show you one other thing that I've been able to work on. Um, and that is like just a little UI element of Marco's like little face. His expressions don't really match the corners at the moment. Oh, I just got a text. Oh, I ran into a wall. But you see his like face kind of changes, and you would expect that to change accordingly with the intensity of the corners. Um, and my housemate actually made the suggestion, or when you hit a wall, when there's a collision, he should like react to that as well, right? So that's where we're at now. I still got to add that. Um, and I got to fix this screen. But, you know, quite a lot of work, but not much to show for it. Um, just because a lot of it was setting up how do I load assets, how do I change animations. Um, yeah. Although I'm pretty happy with how quickly I was able to add the little face into the UI. That probably only took me like 20 minutes, and I think that is a testament to why you should modularize your uh your what do you call it? Code base. So here's what I did to do that. And we can actually go to this, my Scrum board to see what I did. Okay. So we drew up a bunch of faces. Um, and I didn't actually have to turn it into a sprite sheet. So we can go to the race GUI, and we can see that we have this, I've called it the Marco head, and we have these animations. We have easy, hard, and medium, just because it's alphabetized. I can't like, you get what it is. It's easy, medium, hard, and his expression changes. We can even play it to see what it looks like. And the animation frames per second increases with the intensity of the corner because you would expect him to be a bit more animated if something bad's going to happen. Anyway, so that's in there. And then in the script, all I had to do was change this signal bus signal a little bit. So instead of just taking the call out message, which is like the 500 write 5 or whatever, I added another string. I don't know if adding it as a string is bad practice. I think it's fine because making them strings makes it more readable. Okay, so when we get this signal that a checkpoint has been passed, we get a message, which is a string that tells you call out information, and we get the difficulty of the corner. Um, and the script that is signaling that is the checkpoint manager. So when a checkpoint body is entered, um, it basically emits that checkpoint's callout text and that checkpoint's difficulty, which informs what is shown on the user interface. And if you want to look at the checkpoint, right? It just takes from this track data auto load, which is here. It now has field for difficulty. And like, I've been thinking maybe I should make this into like a CSV file rather than JSON because like I just have to type the same thing like 20 times every time I want to make new track information. Whereas like I should really just be looking at a column and then adding the data row by row rather than, I don't know, writing the same thing every time. But I don't plan for there to be many tracks anyway, so I don't know. That's probably on the back burner for now. If it becomes a problem, um, it becomes a problem. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so now we get the intensity. Blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, I changed it from intensity to difficulty. It was originally intensity, but intensity is gonna be collision specific. So I'm calling the corners. I'm categorizing those by by difficulty instead of intensity. Oh my God. Um, oh yeah, and so the marker head plays animation associated with that corner's difficulty, and the difficulties are easy, medium, and hard. And once we have collisions, right? Collision will also probably get the marker head to show with playing an animation for like collision. And I don't think it's necessarily important to differentiate between intensities of collisions. Like you should just be like, you know, regardless of the collision. So that's another easy addition. I really like that. But as as for like what I want to work on next, probably um cutscene animations. So not sure how to approach this because in the cutscenes I just want it to be like these characters, but I want them to kind of walk on their own as the player advances the script. Um, and I know there's ways to approach this. I could manually write every movement I want the NPC to do uh, in the dialogue manager. Shout out to Nathan Hode again. Like I could do walk to this coordinate or whatever, or do move in this direction this amount. But I know you can implement pathfinding. I don't know how hard or easy that's going to be. And if it's hard, like, I don't need pathfinding for anything else, I don't think. This is quite a low scope game. So maybe I'd just be comfortable with coding in the movement in cutscenes. But I think I'll have to look at how difficult pathfinding is to implement. Because I've got animations working now, probably will just outsource most of them because um, I'm not an animator. I don't know, like I feel like the animations I've used so far, people aren't gonna look at them unless they're game developers and be like, oh, that's the Mixamo happy walk, and this is the Mixamo walking while texting, and this is the Mixamo standard walk. Like I'd never seen these animations before. And the fact that they're choppy, a bit more stylized, probably also helps with that. Like I don't have to, I've decided I don't have to prove that I'm an animator in addition to all the other stuff I'm trying to prove to myself by making this game. Uh, so I've basically resolved while speaking that I'm probably going to outsource most of my animations unless I need the character to do something specific, like, I don't know, maybe Marco needs to pick up Luca or something, or Redmond needs to Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Anyway. Oh yeah, I probably will need custom animations for the boat, which I am yet to design. But I kind of want to be like set up all the systems for the story before I move on to the gameplay. As weird as that sounds, I think I'm focusing on the story systems just so I can set up like a game trailer and actually generate genuine interest in the game, because making unedited devlogs that go for at least 15 minutes is probably not the best way to generate interest in a game. And part of game development is unfortunately marketing. I've come to realize that. In one of my earlier videos, I said I'm not the kind of person who's going to disingenuinely exert false enthusiasm, but you kind of have to, unless you're happy with your success being wholly measured by your own interpretation of your own game. Like, let's not get too political about it, but I want other people to see my game, and in order to do that, I have to market the game. And the metric of others' interest is number of sales. Like, that's just how it is. Um, Unless, we do a Chance the Rapper and just give it for free to everyone, which maybe I should do that considering it's my first game. But we'll see. That's very far down the line. And yeah, we got a lot of stuff to do before then. So this coming week, I'm going to work on cutscene animation, or animation during cutscenes. Set up a system for that. That's just so long as it's systematized, I'm happy with it. The fact that I'll just be able to build stuff without having to refactor the code base every time, whether that's using pathfinding or just finding a way to streamline manually typing in the movement of the NPCs and the player character. So yeah, thanks for watching devlog number 4. I hope you'll be here for devlog number 5. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye.